I had my eyes fixed on the Gemini sculpture. You've mentioned the Gemini sculpture many times now, but I don't believe that the sculpture you saw was the Gemini one. What? Was it a mirage then? Or he mistakenly thought he saw the Winter Palace. This piece of evidence shows what Larry really saw. He thought he saw the Winter Palace. He actually saw the Autumn Palace, which would be shown in the art gallery pamphlet, I suppose. That's just the Winter Palace there. So, yeah, I guess take a look at this pamphlet. In the Autumn Palace, the Pisces, Capricorn, Aries, and Aquarius sculptures are displayed. Incidentally, I can confirm that the Gemini sculpture is located in the Winter Palace. Therefore, the sculpture you saw could not have been the Gemini one. I knew it. Expected him to be a bit more shocked at the news. I thought it was kind of strange. I know I saw a single goddess. That transformation was no mirage. Transformation, you say? Oh, you're curious too, Edgy? Well, nothing for it. I guess I have to show you. Show me? What exactly? I drew a picture of the very scene I just saw back then. But I really can't believe what I drew. Picture? What picture? This one right here. What? What is this disturbing picture? Is that sculpture weeping tears of blood? Maurice, this picture is scary! Kay, it scared me too! This Gemini sculpture suddenly transformed into a goddess right before my eyes. I couldn't help but scream. So the victim collapsing wasn't what surprised him. What do you mean when you say transformed? I don't really understand it myself. Lower half of his body just turned into a fish. Fish goddess. That'd be the Pisces sculpture, wouldn't it? In mythology, Pisces represents the fish that a goddess and her son transformed into. I did not know that. Really? So Pisces isn't just a couple of ordinary fish? Edgy, you don't think that sculpture is cursed, do you? Those tears of blood turned this Gemini sculpture into a fish. Preposterous. You simply mistook the Pisces sculpture for the Gemini one. Oh, you put the sketch in your organizer? Even a sketch like this can be used as scrap paper after all. How could you? But it's strange. Why did only the lower half of the sculpture transform? Uncle Ray is a bit curious about what went on in the Autumn Palace. Indeed. I wonder if someone tampered with the Pisces sculpture. Yes, Edgeworth here. Mr. Edgeworth, we finished searching the room. Poison gas isn't a threat anymore, so you can enter the crime scene. Right. Good work, Detective. Seems we can enter the Autumn Palace now. Nice timing, Mr. Detective. Let's go right now. I want to see the Pisces sculpture. If Kay's going, I'm going too. I was planning on bringing him along anyway. Right then, let's proceed to the Autumn Palace. So this is the Autumn Palace. It certainly does resemble the Winter Palace. I've been waiting, sir. Huh? Aren't you that hairy butts guy? Wrong! I'm Maurice Dudim! Never mind that, Detective. Your report, if you please. Roger that, sir. We discovered a used gas burner during our investigation. The nozzle was still warm when we found it, so it may be related to the incident. Was it used to heat something? that ladder always there on the ground? It's probably used by the person who set off the poison gas. Poison gas was released when someone lifted the lid off that glass case, sir. Pisces sculpture. Huh? Seems like you know about it, sir. Well then, do you know what the sculpture next to it is? Since we're in the Autumn Palace, it would probably be the Capricorn sculpture. As expected of Mr. Edgeworth, I thought it was Doris myself. I was thrown off as it was covered by this weird cloth. Fluorescent cloth. I wonder what it's doing here. Evidence from the IS-7 incident. Huh. No matter what it is or how it got here, sculptures in this room are all covered with this fluorescent cloth. And because they're hidden, it makes me want to see them even more. Let's take a look. Let's get this cloth off. Wow, they're beautiful! You don't think the transformation Larry saw was in fact the moment the cloth wrapped around the lower half of Pisces fell? See, Edgy? It wasn't a mirage or a mistake after all. Hey, Miles. Sure is something strange about this room. Looks exactly the same as the Winter Palace we were in just a moment ago. Yes, I agree. Perhaps the sculptures were hidden to make it look like the Winter Palace. If you wrap the cloth around the lower half of the Pisces sculpture, it looks like Gemini. Capricorn is half fish too. I had the lower half and it resembles Taurus. The remaining two, which couldn't be altered with trickery, were covered up. The Autumn Palace was made to look like the Winter Palace. So it seems, Mr. Shields. Looks like we'll need to conduct an investigation of the Autumn Palace too. Mr. DeBest and Judge Courtney.
Hey, you guys again. This is a problem. You see, this is my crime scene.
Mr. Edgeworth, it seems my power is insufficient. If you're here, then it would appear that you still haven't understood my warnings. Furthermore, you know full well your reckless actions will cause trouble for that detective. In the name of the goddess of the law, I must pass judgment.
You got it all wrong, pal. I was the one who asked Mr. Edgeworth to investigate. Really? Well then, Flatfoot, I'll have to do that.
That?
Yeah, that! Right, cut your salary. Looking forward to your next payday? I've always wanted to say that.
Ugh. You're the last person I want cutting my salary, pal. Hold it, DeBest. I am only cooperating with the police as a witness to this incident. Detective Gumshoe is not to blame.
So that's how it is. Well then, should I be raising his salary?
No, that's not what I meant. But it would be really nice to get my salary raised. Your mercy is deeply moving, Sebastian. But past transgressions must lead to future judgment. Prosecutor Edgeworth, and all in his company, depart at once from this holy site. But we only just got here. The one given the goddess of law's blessing for this incident was Sebastian. In other words, Mr. DeBest is the prosecutor in charge of this case.
That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening performance is over. Besides, I've already got my eyes set on the culprit.
What? Who, pal?
Well, naturally, that artist.
Me? Hey, what's going on, Edgy? Don't ask me. I can't understand his reasoning.
You can't understand how the best prosecutor thinks. It simply shows how inculpable you are.
Seems he doesn't know what inculpable even means. That's right, Sebastian. Prosecutor Edgeworth is quite incapable.
Yes, he's incapable.
She just nonchalantly corrected him.
Don't underestimate my intelligence gathering skills. I just came from the infirmary and asked the doctor there about the cause of the poison gas.
And what was the cause?
It's a normal substance. What was its name again? Hold on a second. I'll call the doctor to make sure.
Since Sebastian is on the phone, I'll answer for him. In that case, why didn't you tell us before he called? Poison gas was caused by the mixing of two different types of chemicals. Their names are normalium and fatalium. So what are those chemicals exactly? Normalium is a red liquid that's commonly used in everyday products. It can be found in paint and detergent, among other things, but it is not toxic by itself. So you're saying that it's a substance readily available to anyone? Yes, but fatalium, on the other hand, is not so easy to obtain. Its name sure sounds dangerous. What's it used for? It is the active ingredient of a white pesticide known as Megatoxin X. Fatalium itself also has a deep white color, so it's not readily available, readily sold in stores. It's nearly impossible to obtain domestically. Right now we are looking into how this chemical was obtained.
Okay, I finally found out the names of those chemicals.
Judge Courtney has already told us. We don't need to hear it again.
Fine then. I'll cut to the chase. You know that normalium from the poison gas is also used in paint, right? Today, out of everyone who visited the art gallery, the only one carrying paint was that artist.
You are treating me as the culprit just because of that?
I object to the red paint on the palette you're carrying.
Hey, Edgy, don't you think this prosecutor is kind of an idiot? Indeed. Though I've only known him for a short time, his logic is always absurd.
Hey, don't ignore me!
It's alright, Sebastian. They're only doing it because they're afraid of you. Like the first star to appear at night, show us reasoning that shines the best.
First star shines best. Not bad. Hey, you guys better listen up too. That artist was the first to discover the victim, so naturally he's the best suspect. Poison gas was caused by normalium, a chemical found in paint, right? As he was carrying paint near the victim, he would have had the best chance. Paint, along with being the first witness, it pretty much proves he's the culprit. So, what do you think, Justine?
We cannot ignore the possibility. Well then, Mr. Artist, please tell us the truth. Did you leave the red paint at the crime scene? Or else, did you cause the poison gas to go off? The only thing I leave behind is my bond of love with you. Please watch what you say. My gavel is already prepared to declare you guilty. Please pay no heed to this man's statements.
Hey, you guys! Ignoring my reasoning just because it's flawless won't do you any good. Mr. Edgeworth, you've already admitted defeat. You should take your leave.
Even though I don't really have time to deal with your ridiculous reasoning. Okay, press everything as usual. Indeed, at first glance this man seems suspicious, however...
At first glance? Ugh. What's with that first all of a sudden? Are you trying to steal my spot that's the star that shines best?
Huh? Would that make me the best artist? Larry, don't make this any more confusing than it already is. Mr. DeBest, continue your reasoning now. Yes, apparently normalium is used in many everyday products.
Right. so the paint is definitely suspicious.
But it's also used in things other than paint, right?
I guess you have a point. What do you think, Justine?
That's right. Normalium is also used in detergent, for example. In other words, it might not have been the paint that caused the gas.
That's not true. Let me finish my reasoning.
Even if paint is the cause of the poison gas, that does not mean he is guilty.
Haha! Well then, if the paint is not the cause, that doesn't mean he's innocent either.
Now he's just trying to sound clever. Mimicking what Mr. Edgeworth says won't make you look cool at all. Okay, please don't make my statements look bad.
Now then, it's about time to wrap up my shining logic.
Do you truly claim that Larry is the culprit based on just that?
Huh? You got a problem with that? If you have a problem, then present evidence.
Mr. Edgeworth, looks like he really wants you to do that. Indeed, and I will do as he wishes and present evidence. It seems he doesn't pay much attention to what other people are saying. There's a clear contradiction in Mr. DeBest's logic. Why do you even bother making the phone call? I'll finish this quickly. This is a waste of time. Okay. We got a lot of evidence very fast. What's that pink? Pink stuff. Kinda interesting. Okay, the artist was the first to discover the victims. Naturally, he's the best suspect. Poison gas was caused by normalium, a chemical found in paint. So I'm thinking... He's only mentioning the normalium, but he doesn't say anything about the fatalium. Mr. DeBest, your logic is more akin to a shooting star than a shining star.
Heh. Shines the best like a shooting star, right?
It may shine brightly for a brief moment, and then it burns itself out. Poison gas originated from inside the glass case of the Pisces sculpture.
Exactly. So that's where the artist set off the gas, right? Used the normalium in its red paint.
As your senior, let me give you one piece of advice. Listen to the explanations of others. Poison gas was caused by mixing both normalium and fatalium together. The normalium contained in the red paint is not enough by itself.
Really? But I thought I heard that normalium caused the fatality.
Don't tell me you just misheard the forensic report.
Darn it!
By the time Larry discovered the victim, the room was already filled with poison gas. It's time for you to realize how incapable you really are.
Hey, what do you mean by incapable?
You tried to use that word earlier, and you still don't know what it means? He means to say, you are lacking in ability. Incidentally, inculpable has a completely different meaning.
I get it. You're making fun of me again, aren't you?
I'm merely saying you were incapable in your investigation. Before you insult Sebastian, I still have some doubts about your own statement. What kind of doubts? For all we know, Mr. Artist could have simply entered the Autumn Palace at an earlier time. That's... Moreover, do you have evidence that the red paint is unrelated to the case? The most important thing now is not the red paint. The red normalium and white fatalium. Exactly how were these two substances mixed? I believe that is our main concern. Naturally. It was Sebastian's job to investigate that. Were it not for your interference, we would have found that out by now. I never intended to interfere. On the contrary, I'd like to cooperate.
Don't tell me you're gonna say you know the cause of the poison gas.
How the poison gas started. I have something that may shed some light on this matter.
Sebastian, do not fall for his bluff. Come now, it's fine, really. Let's hear what he's come up with.
If you say so, Sebastian.
Come on, show us! How did the poison gas start?
Looks like it's in this thing, somehow. This shows it.
Surely you're not saying that this was the cause of the poison gas.
Seems even you've noticed it.
Duh! It really stands out.
Those red tears that Larry saw were undoubtedly normalium.
Huh? Wait a second. If those were chemicals, does that mean a ghost set off the poison gas?
I don't have time to play along with him. The red tears of normalium could not have triggered the poison gas by itself. That red liquid was mixed inside the case to create the poison gas.
What? Just where do you see evidence that the chemicals were mixed?
That can also be seen in this sketch. Here's the evidence. Show evidence that the two chemicals were mixed. Pink. A pink liquid can be seen flowing out from under the case of the Pisces sculpture. This is proof that the two chemicals were mixed.
Hold on a second, I still don't get it. How does this show that normalium and fatalium were mixed?
Since we have a self-proclaimed artist here, I'll let him explain. Larry, you fancy yourself an artist, so you should know about mixing paint, right? What do you add to red to make pink? Don't take me for a fool, Edgy! I'll have you know I graduated from middle school! You add white to red to make pink. It's common knowledge. Well, technically there's rose pink, baby pink, and several others. That's enough. Now do you understand, Mr. DeBest?
Ah! That's how it is. By mixing red normalium with white fatalium, you get a pink liquid.
Yes, exactly. Took him long enough.
I see.
Looks like Mr. DeBest finally gets it. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you have merely presented one possibility. Do we really know if the color was the result of the two chemicals mixed together? Furthermore, this sketch was drawn by the suspect. I cannot put much faith into it. I just painted what I saw! How could that be a lie? Mr. Artist, I did not permit you to speak. Ugh, so cold. That's part of her charm. Of course. I intend to bring the truth to light immediately. It would not be wise to jeopardize your position even further. Aren't you going to answer my question from before? How do you know that Mr. Artist did not enter the Autumn Palace? If you cannot prove this, there is no room for you to argue any further. Hey, couldn't we find that out if we talked to the victim, pal? The victim, Dane Gustavia, remains unconscious and in critical condition. That's right. Well then, Sebastian will be investigating the crime scene now. All of you, please vacate the premises. If you were to take a stand in court, you'd cause a lot of trouble for the presiding judge. Is there something you would like to say, Mr. Artist? Hold your horses, Miss Cool Beauty! My name is Justine Courtney. Please don't address me by such a strange title. Oh, you finally told me your name! Pleased to meet you, Justy! I'm Larice Dunim. You can just call me Larice. Mr. Artist, please get to the point. I just remembered something I haven't had a chance to say yet. When I first got to this room, it was locked, so I couldn't go in. But then that old dude just suddenly fell through the door. It would appear that the palace rooms can be locked from the inside. But just because you say it was so, doesn't mean the door was locked. Without proof, your statement holds no value.
Well, why not let Uncle Ray prove it for you?
What?
After all, we can confirm this room was locked. The room was locked too. Right, Miles? Yes, I remember as well. Winter Palace should be... Huh? It's locked up. That's odd. Already opened the museum. Until the gas outbreak, no one could have entered the room.
Perhaps the suspect entered the room with the victim during the gas outbreak.
As you can see, this man did not inhale any of the gas. If you examine his belongings, you'll find he wasn't carrying a gas mask either.
Is that so? Well then, I have no choice but to agree.
That was easier than I expected. Anyway, I presume this clears up any suspicion surrounding Larry. Seems Mr. DeBest's logic was off once again. Wahaha! Not exactly. I just didn't have enough information, that's all. Therefore, my reasoning was just before its time. Sure has a grand way of saying that things didn't work out for him.
In that case, there is one more suspect who has yet to take the stand. Mr. Artist, you are free to go.
Huh? I wanted to talk to you a little more, Justy.
Overruled.
Your cold demeanor leaves me mesmerized all the more. This other suspect is...
a pharmacist by the name of Delicia Scones. It would have been difficult for this artist to obtain the Fatalium from Megatoxin X. But a pharmacist may have knowledge of how to do that. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Sebastian, it would be best if we brought her in quickly.
Best? If we brought her quickly? Heh, sounds good. Leave it to me. Hey, Flatfoot, keep up the investigation. Ugh, got it. Don't tell me. Judge Courtney suspected her from the very beginning? So Mr. DeBest's logic wasn't any help at all. Judge Courtney, just what is she thinking?